Okay, so in current boxing news today, Richard Commey ranks Deontay Wilder above Vasily Lomachenko. Now, let me be fair. He just doesn't rank Deontay Wilder above Vasily Lomachenko. He also places Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, which is not a shocker, Canelo Alvarez, which is not a shocker. So he places Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Bud Crawford, Deontay Wilder, and Errol Spence above Vasily Lomachenko when it comes to the reputation of being the pound for pound best fighter in boxing today. Wow. Canelo Alvarez, I can understand it. Terrence Crawford, I can understand it. Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder, shit. I mean, you're going to have to explain that. But anyways, let's go into a little about what he says. He says that I don't believe that he's the best fighter in boxing by a long way. He has a tremendous amateur background, but this is professional boxing. There are two different sports. Personally, I think Canelo, Crawford, Spence, and Wilder are above, Commey said. There is a lot to be said about being the A side all the time. You have the distinct advantage when the promoter, TV networks, journalists, and everyone else sings your praises. Crawford went and took the belt off of Burns in his own backyard. Spence done the same to Kell Brook. Canelo's the B side against Mayweather, and Wilder was prepared to go to Russia to defend his title. This is what he said. That doesn't quite add up to what he's saying at all. But it seems like he's saying he's giving these guys the one up over Lomachenko because they went overseas to fight and they went overseas to be the champion. That's currently what Lomachenko is doing right now. So I don't understand Richard Commey's point with this. You know, that's currently what he's doing right now. But one of the big issues I want to get on is how he ranks Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder above Vasily Lomachenko. So he's saying that these people are above him because they went overseas. Now, the crazy part is, okay, if that's your point, I get why you bring up Errol Spence. But to try to give Deontay Wilder credit for something that he did not do, I'm sorry, Richard, that just sounds like a dark-skinned alliance to me. I'm going to be real, man, because that don't make number one, heavyweights never make the pound-for-pound list. And number two, Deontay Wilder is not technically sound. Okay, so there's no way in hell he would be in any talks of being the best fighter. You know what I'm saying? In that case, I prefer you swap out Deontay Wilder and put Tyson Fury right there. Because at least he has a skill set that can be argued best pound for pound boxer. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But even though that's not a category that's really designed for the heavyweight division, that's really for lower categories, really. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. So Richard Commey is just hating. You know what I'm saying? That's all. When you threw Wilder and Errol Spence in there, you just destroyed everything that you were trying to say. But I want to go at this two ways. I want to go at this the ways that people are reluctant to give Vasily Lomachenko his props, not because they don't believe in Vasily Lomachenko. It's not Lomachenko's fault. What Lomachenko's problem is actually the people who write about him and the people who talk about him. They put Lomachenko in a position where people want to ridicule him and not give him credit because they don't let this man earn his respect and earn his accolades. You know what I'm saying? They don't let him get out there and earn it on his own. Everything that's being said about Lomachenko, and please pay close attention to what I'm saying. Everything that is said about Lomachenko comes from inside the industry, inside the boxing game. See, there's two different types of who people believe is the best. Okay, you have the industry, ESPN, commentators, everybody that will sing hardcore praise to Vasily Lomachenko. This guy's the number one fighter. But when you get down to the earth of boxing, when you really talk to the boxing fans and you get away from the commentators and you get away from everybody who has an incentive to talk good or bad about somebody, and you just talk to the people, they all say Terrence Crawford. They either say Terrence Crawford, the really educated ones will say Canelo Alvarez. Because truthfully, Canelo Alvarez is the number one pound for pound fighter. Truthfully. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't even be argued, but it is. You know what I'm saying? He should be number one pound for pound by a landslide. By a landslide, really. But he's not. But when you get to talking to people who's outside of the whole boxing game, who has no incentive to do this, they all say Terrence Crawford. Even Vasily Lomachenko, the last time he was asked who's the best pound for pound fighter, he said out his own mouth, Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? I see why he says he's the best pound for pound fighter now, because I'm pretty sure that Bob, if he didn't do it on his own, advised him to do that. Like, look, man, even if you feel that way, you're going to have to promote yourself. You can't say you think this guy's number one, you're number one. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the reason for him saying that. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But the reason why it's so hard for Lomachenko to get his props, because you got everybody just trying to make him something before he actually proves what he is. You know? And that's becoming the problem with Vasily Lomachenko. He deserves praise. But does he deserve to be put on the pedestal where everybody else wants to put him? And when I say everybody else, I'm not talking about people in the boxing game. I'm talking about the industry wants to put him. You know what I'm saying? No. So when people reject against that, some people feel you're hating on Lomachenko. And it's kind of like what I said about the videos about Errol Spence. I said some of these videos that I make is not even about Errol Spence. It's about me responding and going in and hurting his fanboys. I'm really not even dropping these videos for Errol Spence. I'm doing it because Errol Spence fanboys is aggravating the shit out of me, or they talking shit and I want to shut them up. Well, that's kind of how it is with Vasily Lomachenko. You have people who give other boxers a very hard time and giving them credit. They always want to strip them down and rob them for any and everything that they do. And these are the same kind of people that will give those kind of praises to Vasily Lomachenko willingly and without him really having to prove himself and without him really having to face the same level of competition or do the same things that everybody else is doing. This is what other people notice. So when it comes to talking about Vasily Lomachenko, they're really swiping back at the fanboys and the race boxing fans who really put their foot in this. That's who they really swiping at. It's really not Vasily Lomachenko, because I have not met one person who has said anything or tried to critique Lomachenko that did not say this guy is a talented fighter. Anybody who has ever had anything to say about Vasily Lomachenko before they got on anything that they disliked about him or they wanted to critique, they all started off by saying Vasily Lomachenko is a talented fighter. But my problem is this, that, and the third. And the Vasily Lomachenko fans are so sensitive, they don't even allow people to say that. You have people that could be a Vasily Lomachenko fan, okay? They could be a fan, but they might want to say something. I think Loma should work on this, or I think Loma should work on that. Here comes Lomachenko's fanboys out of the woodworks, ready to attack and decapitate anybody's head, ready to push accusations. Oh, well, you're American, so I expect this from you. Oh, well, you're a black person in America, so all you guys do is hate. Oh, you're this, and that. So it's got his fan base hypersensitive. So basically, in a nutshell, this is the issue and this is the problem. Vasily Lomachenko has the same problem that Anthony Joshua has. A lot of people dislike Anthony Joshua because a lot of people like Anthony Joshua. They dislike him because he is liked. Well, that's kind of like Vasily Lomachenko. It's the same thing. A lot of people dislike him or hate on him or deny him whatever it is that you're claiming that people deny of him simply because a lot of people like him. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, a lot of people are quick to give Lomachenko praise, but so hard to dish out a compliment to anybody else. And people on the outside look at it as they know the history of boxing. You want to glorify the white fighter and demonize and cowardize, if that even is a word, the black fighter. But then again, like always, that's just my opinion on it. It's just how I see it. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Bruce Vane, I'm out.